It's the Poker News Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 864th episode of the Poker News Podcast. I am Chad Holloway at Level 9 Studio, joined by Kyna England and Connor Richards. Mike is busy. He's playing the NAPT right now as we're recording this.
He figures. Yeah, good luck, Mike.
He'll be back hopefully next week, but we got a great episode, and we're going to start right off the top with some controversy. You don't often see a bracelet get stripped from somebody, but that's exactly what happened. Some news broke. There was a tweet by, I think it was Pad's Poker, right? Patrick Leonard sent out a tweet saying that he was made aware he was a refund from GGPoker, and it stemmed from the 25K GGMillion super high roller that took place, I believe it was earlier in October, and it was won by one Francesco Garofalo.
Yeah, I know.
It
seemed like no one knew who he was at the time that he won it too. I remember seeing a tweet, and it might have even been Pads or Chris Brewer being like, "Hey, whoever this guy is, good luck or good job."
And
nice
I think
win.
that's what maybe was the suspicious part, right? Like, you don't see a lot of people jumping into 25K counters that like we might not know as reporters. We know most of them, but the other players in the 25K almost always know.
No, I saw that he didn't have very many earnings. I'm not sure if it was on GG or live earnings, but this was kind of an unknown player. And in a 25K like this, that's just not something that you see very often. And you see like, yeah, it was Chris Brewer who was runner-up. That's somebody who you would expect to see in something like that. So really interesting to see, especially at an event this high. What it did remind me of is, this is becoming a thing where these accounts are getting suspended. It also happened to the WSOP Michigan Player of the Year. I wrote about this a few weeks ago. But Kevin Rashidi, I think is his name. So he was the reigning player of the year, and he recently beat Cherish Andrews heads up in an online bracelet event. Turns out that a ton of players in Michigan, like a whole Discord of players, had been suspicious of him using RTA.
Even our own Mike Holtz, I believe.
Yeah. Mike had something to say about it, I think.
Mike was one of the people I talked to just in my investigating, if you will. But So they had been suspicious of him. They'd been running these GTO Wizard fair play checks on him, and they basically came up with this evidence and like, hey, we think that this guy. So anyway, he beats Cherish Andrews heads up. He finds out his account's suspended, and then Cherish. I talked to her, and she said like, WSOP needs to be more proactive with this, and if it is something like a bracelet, they need to find a way to redistribute that, and definitely with the prize money. So. With this much bigger buy in 25K, it's good to see that it looks like the money was distributed. I don't know what the plan is with the bracelet in a situation like that. Does Chris Brewer get it? Does nobody get it? But
my guess is nobody gets it. So you can see here, we actually have some of the things we'll show on the screen. So I actually went to Poker Listings. They had the original payouts, a nice little table. So I'm going to share that. As you said, Chris Brewer was in second place. Bryn Kenny was at this final table. Patrick Leonard, who I mentioned, was fourth. Dimitar Danchev, Adrian Mateos. This was a stacked final table.
Yeah, I remember reading through it. I'm like, oh yeah, I know like all these other guys, but so it's a good thing. Like, I mean, suspicion was aroused. Like, you don't know this guy. You play with most of these guys all the time. Right. But it'll be interesting to see what happens to that bracelet. I mean, I think I saw the tweet. I don't know who it was. It wasn't Pads, but it was somebody else tweeting about like Pads waking up and being, waking up with $100K refund or something like that. Like, what a nice day for you. What a good morning.
Yeah, it was actually, I copied this as well because I thought this was a great representation. This is from World Poker Deals. They had a chart about the compensation. So Chris Brewer wakes up, he's got $250,000 more. That was the difference between first and second.
Wow.
Bryn Kenny almost 200K, Patrick Leonard 150K, everybody moving up, at least 5 figures. So something nice to wake up to, I suppose.
For sure. What a good day.
I don't think anything's going to happen with the bracelet. And to go to your point, Connor, between what happened here, this is GG. Right, GG's bracelet events with WSOP, they now own WSOP, of course, whereas with the online player of the year, in that, it was more the domestic WSOP.com, formerly WSOP.com, which is still run off, I believe, the 888 software. GG hasn't got in there yet. So there's a big difference between how that operates and how GG operates, hence why we see such quick action here and maybe not, over there. So hopefully it gets sorted. I do think down the line, we're going to see GG do this sort of thing, police it a lot more because they have a big vested interest in it. But in this instance, Francesco Garofalo out of, I believe, Italy, stripped of a bracelet. You just don't see that often. And, rightfully so. And now why? People are probably like, listening, all right, why? We don't know. Nobody knows. They don't share that information. It is kept private. I don't know if they can share it, for privacy laws, but, we can speculate.
Yeah. It's always fun to guess. Well, I saw something that was like they thought it was ghost multi-accounting, right?
Multi-accounting is what I saw.
Yeah. But you never know, I guess, and it could be a robot, right?
Yeah. I mean, multi-counting would be a good guess, or sometimes we've seen people have an account that they sell to like a different pro. That is a multi-accounting, right? So just a different form of it than a lot of people might think. But I don't know. This one was kind of out of left field, and there's still some unanswered questions. But I hate to say it, I think they're going to remain unanswered questions. I don't think they're going to award the bracelet to second place in this case. That's just me. Speculating. I think they would have done it already. Chris Brewer did tweet he got the difference between first and second, but I don't get the bracelet. Quite happy either way. So I guess he'll be happy one way or the other.
Like the reason that we know about this is because they notified the players who were involved, but it's not like they released a statement. And so that's why these will probably go unanswered just because, for a lot of reasons, for security, privacy, whatever. That's how we find out about this is just when the players involved kind of leak it. So.
In the high stakes, the 25Ks and above are a whole different world. Like I'm tied into the poker world pretty well, but even that world eludes me a lot. Like I'm an outsider to that world, right? It's I know the mid-states poker tour, mid-stakes. You do too. Like we know that kind of world. But man, when you get up to those nosebleeds, they do like to keep it in house and a little more secretive. So.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're about to talk about the other high roller too. But when you're at like the NAPT and you look around and you see, oh, this is a 25K high roller, like you still like recognize like a lot of the people. Like it's still like a field of, I'm sure they all know each other. I'm sure they all like are aware of each other. And when you're playing live, if you don't know some guy, you're like, oh, you're a real guy. You're sitting there playing. But online, can be a little shadier. Yeah,
and I've seen it before in like 25Ks, 50Ks, 100Ks or above. Like if somebody sits down that we don't know or the other players don't know, there's a murmur. People are like, who is this guy? What's going on? They're trying to get information, trying to research. So before we move on to NAPT and some other talk, we got to talk about one last WSOP GG thing, and that's the deal is finalized.
Oh, wow.
We talked about it on the episode a while back that Caesars Entertainment was selling the WSOP brand to GGPoker for $500 million, but it needed to pass some regulatory hurdles. And it did that much quicker than I expected, and I think most people did. Like, it's official. GG now owns WSOP.
Wow, okay. Well, here we go. New era.
It certainly is. Connor, what do you think? What, is there going to be big changes right away, or are you thinking there's going to be a little grace period, or what?
So I was the one that wrote up this press release, so I remember it coming in, and kind of all of our reaction was, wow, we didn't expect a deal to finalize this quickly. It was just a couple weeks ago or few months ago that this deal got announced, and it just seems to be moving really quickly. As to whether there will be instant changes or how long that will take, it does seem like for the time being, things are going to remain the same. Caesars is going to hold on to a lot of the like branding rights and things like that. WSOP is going to be here in Vegas. Caesars properties are going to be WSOP branded and all that. So it's going to be a longer transition. I think what you are going to see probably right away is more kind of global expansion, events in other parts of the world. Already with like WSOP Paradise that they did in 2023, and they're bringing that back. GGPoker is going to be, probably more of a global focus than a U.S. focus, but for the time being, a lot will remain the same. A lot of the WSOP staff and executives, they're transitioning over into new roles, and so a lot of the same for now, but definitely a huge development in the industry.
Yeah, I think we're going to see, I've been here in Spain. I don't know. That could be a WSOP Spain at some point.
Ooh.
Speaking of going overseas, we're going to talk about that in a moment. But before we do, I want to thank our sponsor of the Poker News Podcast, and that is the WSOP free-to-play app. Connor and I battle the Daily Blitz from time to time, but we've been doing these fun replay hands where I discuss some famous World Series of Poker hands as viewed through the free-to-play app. Check it out. In 2023, Daniel Weinman won the World Series of Poker main event for $12.1 million. He returned the following summer to attempt a title defense. He actually made the money, but busted shortly after the bubble. It happened in a big hand against Ruben Hofstepian, who raised it up. Weinman jammed from the button, both blinds fold, and a call was made. Hofstepian was ahead with ace-queen against Weinman's ace-9. Unfortunately for the defending champ, there was no luck to be had. The board ran out 10, 3, 4, ace on the turn, but a 5 on the river meant the kicker played and Weinman was out in 1,357th place. He attributed the bad loss to the Jeff Platt curse. Good run, Daniel. Good run. All right, there you have it. Check out the WSOP free-to-play app. You can get in all the action. Use bonus code PokerNews to get yourself some extra chips. Kyna, I teased it a little bit. You're going over to London.
Woo, yes.
First time ever,
Kyna
right?
England goes to England. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to go over there and play the Women's Festival in London. It's their first ever Women's Festival. There's a lot. I think there's 3 or 4 events dedicated just to women. So yeah, I'm going to go over there. It'll be fun time. I'll, send some videos over. We can show some footage of me playing and hopefully winning.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. London is a very fun stop. Connor, you've done some EPTs there, I'm assuming, or no?
We did 2022 EPT
right.
London, so that was a lot of fun. Kyna and I were talking about that. Hyde Park is one of my favorite places ever.
I wish we had I wish I had a bigger budget with the PokerNews Podcast to send a cameraman with you to just document your going around London. I think that would be a lot of fun.
What I did was I fed the squirrels at the park because they're very social and you can feed them out of your hand, but just be careful.
You might get raided and poor Peanut.
Oh,
Rest in peace,
oh,
Peanut.
Gosh,
no. Be careful.
Well, I'll try and make some friends over there, or bring some friends with me and have them take some videos of me looking for squirrels, maybe.
Well, it is going to be a great women's event, and they actually just had one wrap up here at the NAPT. We talked about it a lot. You were the defending champ. We actually delayed the recording a day later than usual so you could play it.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about how it went.
Hey, that was a really fun event, I have to say. A bunch of my friends were there. I got to play with a whole bunch of my friends. I was at the table with Christina Gollins, who ended up finishing second. And she actually messaged me in the morning and she's like, I don't want to do this. I don't like ladies events, but I'm going to try my best. And I was making fun of her the whole time because she's just busting people left and right, sitting right next to me the whole time. We had such a good time. I played with Kathy. I got to bust Kathy Liebert.
Wow.
What a story, right? I busted Kathy Liebert. And then, just my hot dogs were all there. I was playing with Haley. This was hilarious too. Haley, we were having some drinks. We were having a good time. It was so fun. Everybody was having a great time. And the floor guy even was enjoying our company. And, he left the hot mic over on the table next to Haley, and Haley goes over and she's like, girls rule, boys drool. And then the mic just put it down. It's all across the whole room. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? So it was just, a ruckus. It was a good time. Lots of camaraderie. I'm happy. I had a fun time playing. I think I don't know. I busted probably 40th or something, but had fun the whole day.
It was a good turnout. 182 runners.
Huge, too. Yeah, because they put this year a $30K guarantee on it, which they didn't do last year. And it started earlier in the day. It started at noon and it was a one-day event. It ended up being 2 days because they were playing so late. But yeah, 181 entries. That's crazy.
182.
182.
Yeah.
Oh.
$50,960 in the prize pool, so well above the 30K.
Damn, yeah.
And
Great
Sheila Stimson is the champion, taking it down for over $11,000. She, you have to pass the torch. She's now the reigning champ.
Congratulations, Sheila. I don't think I played with her the whole day, though, either. I moved tables a couple times, and I didn't see her. Christina sent me a picture of her, and then I saw the winner's post. But good job. Congratulations. We'll see you in London.
Yeah, she did win a package to go to London, too. Yeah. Another big event was the first one. This was a $550 mystery bounty. Connor, you worked this one. Another huge field, 1,201 runners, $576,000 in the prize pool, won by Gregor Sverko for $46,000 for a prize and almost $20,000 in bounties. Seemed like a really good way to kick off the NAPT.
It was a good way. I covered this event throughout, and it was interesting. The first couple days, so the starting flights were all down in the Resorts World Poker Room, which we're all familiar with. We had a meetup game there, but great environment there, and it was just totally packed the whole time, pretty much for the entire thing. Card Player Lifestyle had their mixed game festival happening in the corner, but pretty much everything was 2 separate starting flights of this mystery bounty event. So it was a fun way to kick it off. And then on day 2, stuff moved upstairs. They started doing the mystery bounty draws. There were 3 25K bounties, and it was funny because there were also some 10K bounties. All of them got pulled pretty early, and so that there's times where I've seen a final table, it gets 4-handed and the biggest bounty's still up top, and it creates all sorts of weird dynamics. But all these were out of the way. But it was a fun event to cover. Good way to kick off NAPT.
Another fun event was, it was just a small side event, a $360 no-limit hold'em tournament, event number 6 on the schedule. So it was won by Failla, Will the Thrill, right? Mm-hmm. He's a character in this game. I seen his winner's photo, and I was going to write a recap, which I did, but he said, hey, I got a great story for you. And he came and he told me this story about, he didn't even mean to play this event. Mm-hmm. He had busted the $1,100 RunGood Open, I believe it was, and he wanted to play the next flight, but that wasn't for many hours, so he thought there was a satellite in between. Mm. So he went up, and he thought he was registering for a satellite, gets in this tournament, wins a few hands, and then realizes his mistake, asks if he can withdraw. They say no because you've already won some hands. You've got chips.
Well, how do you confuse an $1,100 event with a $360 satellite?
He thought it was going to be a $300 satellite into the $1,100 event or something like that. I don't know.
But he paid $1,100.
No, he paid the $360. He busted the $1,100 initially. Wanted to play the next flight.
Oh, okay.
But
sorry. I'm totally mixed up. Yeah.
All good. But he ended up winning this for $7,100. He said he tried to punt it, but no matter what he did, he just was winning hands.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a fun little Will the Thrill story there. Another big winner, I mentioned it just now, the RunGood Open. So this was an $1,100 event put on by our good friends at the RunGood Poker Series, Tana Karn.
Yeah.
You went up to Reno for an event with them not long ago.
Yeah, I did. I ran into Tana. I said hi. I was looking sharp in his suit. So.
Yeah. Well, this was a good one. 480 entries, $1,100 buy-in, and it was won by Richard Bai, who's from, Richard? Because he's from Illinois and Chicago area.
I actually ran into him last night, too. I was spinning, just trolling around the casino with Josh a little bit, and we saw him playing some slots afterwards. And we're like, oh my God, you just won. It was great. It was exciting. It was a fun time.
$68,000 score for him. Now he's got MSPT title, WSOP Circuit main event title. He's got an NAPT title. He's got a Win Classic title. I've played with him many times in the Midwest in the MSPT. He's really, really good.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, too.
Yeah, absolutely. So congratulations to him. There's been a lot of other side events. There's many more coming up. In next week's episode, the NAPT will be wrapped up. We're going to be able to talk about the main event winner. And one event that just wrapped up, really as we're recording this, because we had to look it up. Super high roller. We mentioned some 25Ks. This was a 25K high roller, super high roller, got 60 runners. And Connor, a familiar face, won this one, Steven Song.
Yeah. He is honestly on such a tear. I mean, he kind of has been. He was the player of the year, the Mid-States player of the year, I think in 2022. But then just a couple weeks ago over in EPT Barcelona, he won the main event. And it's not the first time he's won a spade in Barcelona, but obviously a huge score. I was covering that event. That was cool. One thing that was cool, he had a rail of American friends there. One of them is Adam Hendricks, who I had interviewed years earlier, and he had talked to me about, kind of one of his breakthrough moments was when they went to EPT Barcelona, him and Steven together, and Adam got second in a huge event and Steven won an event. And so it was just kind of cool, full circle, those guys really crushed down there. And here we are just, a couple weeks later and he's winning this. And he also does well at the WPT stuff coming up. He won the Prime Championship a couple years ago. So yeah, great year for him for sure.
$439,000 for the win. Defeated Sean Winter, another stellar player in heads-up play. So congratulations to him. Before we shift over to talk about World Poker Tour stuff, I want to ask you guys, so far, the NAPT, as we're recording this, is about halfway over. What's been the big moment for you, the most exciting thing? Connor, I know you've been doing some interviews for your podcast, which is Life Outside Poker. You can maybe tease some of the guests that you got.
Yeah, so that's been fun. In addition to live reporting, I've been trying to do some interviews. Kyna was the first person who I got to talk to. And while we're recording that, we did that yesterday. And that was a lot of fun because, again, Kyna and I get to interact in this way, but it was really cool to talk a bit more in depth and talk about some of the cool things that she's done. Another person who I talked to was Boston Rob. That was a cool one because my sisters are really big Survivor fans, and so that's one, that I can send a screen grab to the family, and they're like, no way, that's the coolest thing. He's my favorite person ever. So really cool to talk to him. Hopefully I'll get a few more interviews done. But probably my favorite moment so far was Adam, our camera guy. Me and him were moving our table setup because we did this interview in Resorts World, but then we were moving it into a new location. So we're carrying this kind of awkward table, and Jason Koon sees us and he runs over and helps us bring the table. And it was actually pretty far that he had to carry it, and it was really awkward. But Jason Koon, shout out to him, the nicest guy, and he helped us do that. And it was just, pretty funny moment.
Yeah, pretty exciting. Jason Koon is the latest PokerStars ambassador.
Oh, wow.
Technically not out as we're recording this, but when this episode drops Friday morning, it should be out. So I'm going to share that. And if perchance something happens, we'll just cut it.
Yeah. So, congrats, Jason.
Yeah, Jason Koon, very well deserving. One of the nicest guys in poker, and very excited to see him get that sponsorship. All right, I want to talk about WPT. Right? Before I was back in Vegas for NAPT, I got to go to Montreal to the Playground Poker Club up there. which I had been at in 2016. You ever been? Have
No.
you been? No? Okay, so the playground used to be this kind of out in the middle of nowhere, one floor thing. Well, they went through a huge renovation in the last decade. Now it's like this sprawling 3-story complex. I was really impressed. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed Montreal, and it was really cool because I got to see Michael Wang. He had never made a WPT final table before. Yeah. And he travels from Europe. He was about to come home to Vegas. He decided to make a pit stop here. Almost wasn't going to. It's a $3,500 Canadian dollar buy-in, 840 runners, and he won it for, which turned out to be about $276,000 USD and a seat into the season-ending World Championship. And he won this belt. It's like it's their trophy there. You got the Mike Sexton's Champion Cup, but the playground has like this belt. And I told him, like, are you going to wear this thing into the WPT? Because, Michael Wang, he's a good-looking guy, but he's smaller. He's and I would just love to see him repping this huge belt walking into the WPT. That'd be badass.
It would be. We had a discussion about belts, too, like bring back the belt, because there are quite a few titles where people have gotten belts. My friend Kristen has one from winning, I think, some Gulf Coast thing or something down there. I don't know. Sorry, Kristen. I don't know which one. But it's still very cool. Lily has belts, too. Like, you just, like, something to add to the collection. Like, let's mix it up. Okay, you get a trophy, you get a ring, you get a bracelet, you get a belt. That's pretty cool.
And you were just mentioning you got, like, a new display for some of your trophies and stuff at home, right?
I got a new trophy case. It's like a bookshelf, but it was like a nicer one. And I put it in my apartment and I cleaned it all off and I moved my trophies over. But my MSPT trophies don't fit on there. Womp womp. Yeah. And like I was like, okay, I could put them on the top, but they're so heavy. And like I have cats. If they fell over, I'm just like, all right, we'll just have to leave them off. It looks nice and clean though now.
Well, we maybe could add one to it. We are nominated for a Gulf Coast Poker Award, the 5th annual. We won it in 2020 for Content Provider of the Year, but we're nominated again. I've already got the one trophy, so if we win, maybe it's got to go on your shelf.
It will for sure. Some stiff competition, though. I think it's just real nice to be nominated. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks, everyone, too, for coming up and telling me, that they like the podcast. When I've been playing with some ladies, I was playing the ladies' Venetian meetup game the other day. A couple of the ladies said they listen every week and they like it. And so we appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening.
Another big winner up at the playground was Kevin Rabichow, defeating Pascal Lefrancois in heads-up play in the 10,500 high roller. Rabichow taking it down for 211,000 Canadian. So Pascal Lefrancois, he won a bracelet.
Did you get that one right?
I did. I know that one because I covered his bracelet win in 2010. He took down a 1,500 at the World Series for $568,000. But I remember it, always remember it, and I referenced it in this recap because there's a trend going on the RunGood Poker Series. I don't know if you've seen this, where people are winning rings and they're doing their winners photos by taking off their shirts.
No, I haven't seen anything like that.
Yeah, they're doing some topless, guys taking off their shirts. Well, Pascal Lefrancois was the first one to ever do this. He's got a bracelet winning photo where he's, took off his shirt and I don't know. I just always remember that little aspect. So I don't know. I'm not a big nobody wants to see this shirt off if I were to win a ring, right?
But he got second, so he couldn't do it. Did Kevin Rabichow take his shirt off?
No, because this was a WPT and not the RunGood. But congratulations to both those guys. Now, speaking of the WPT, we've got something very exciting to share and announce. Now, we gave away a gold pass to the NAPT, right? Our guy is in the main event right now as we're recording this, Luis Rivera. In fact, I think our ambassador, Keith Becker, is going to catch up with him. And I said, well, I'm going to say we're going to show the video. So that's what we're going to do. But when we come back, we're going to give you a chance to win something else very special. But check out this little video with NAPT Gold Pass winner from the PokerNews Podcast, Luis Rivera.
All right, so I'm here with Luis Rivera, who won a gold pass to play in the $5,300 main event here at PokerStars NAPT. Luis, how you doing today?
Could be a little bit better considering I just busted out, but
I'm so sorry to hear that. Before we get to that, how did you win the gold pass to play here today?
Sure. So it was a Poker News giveaway where you have to listen to 6 different podcast episodes, and there's a code word hidden in each, and then you have to kind of assemble those together and then email them for the entry.
Okay. And how did you feel when you got contacted? Were you just contacted, told you won, or was there a process?
Yeah. So I got emailed, and I think the email was like, so where do you live? And it was phrased like that, and I was like, oh, please, God, please. I'm like, I live in Houston, Texas. And then I got the email, like, he made me wait. He made me wait like 30, 45 minutes, but it came through.
So you mentioned you just busted, so I'm sorry to hear that. What went on today was just lack of hands. Any turning points or any big hands that you can remember?
Yeah, it was a combo of being card dead almost the entire time, and then when I wasn't, like I think I had 8s a couple times, kings once, nothing at all. With the king's hand, everyone folded pre, so I couldn't even make money there.
You hate to hear it. So you mentioned to me being excited about some of the other things that are happening here in Las Vegas at the NAPT. Anything in particular you're targeting or want to do and see while you're here having this experience?
Yeah, for sure. I'm really excited about the go-kart races, and also there's a karaoke night, I guess, on Saturday, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, so both sound very fun. Yeah. And you also mentioned to me that you're a YouTube creator. You have a YouTube channel. What's the channel about?
Yeah, it's a kind of like a comedy skit centric channel called Mixed Nuts, and it's just about whatever kind of crazy ideas we have. Me and my stepbrother, we just kind of, it runs the gamut from being slapped by tortillas, electrocuted, having to eat nasty food, like all kinds of stuff. It's just wacky.
Okay, slapped by tortillas. Check out Mixed Nuts on YouTube, and thanks so much for talking to me, Luis. Yeah, have a great trip.
All right, there you have it. It was great to have Luis Rivera here at the NAPT. Maybe he'll be back in December for the WPT because he could have a chance to win, and you have a chance to win a exclusive. It's a passport to this $5 million free roll. We had Jamie Kerstetter a few weeks ago talking about it. This is one of those big events taking place during the WPT World Championship, and we have a way for you to win. Here's how this is going to work. There's a new movie coming out. It's a new documentary. It's by Mike Bailey and Poker Films. They filmed it at last year's World Poker Tour World Championship. And it basically, the premise of it is they started filming somebody, and when somebody busted him, took those chips, they followed the chips.
Oh.
And they followed the chips all the way to the end of the tournament. The movie itself, the documentary, is going to release for free on YouTube. It's going to come out on Wednesday, November 13th at 4 p.m. Pacific time. But to tease it, this is how it's going to work. We're going to show the trailer here in a moment. And then if you want to be entered to win between now and next week's episode, all you have to do is go to the YouTube channel where the trailer plays. I'm going to link to it, and just type in Poker News as a comment in the in the comment section. We're going to randomly select somebody who does this. Now, little fine print is you have to be signed up for the WPT Gold, right? Mm-hmm. And if you're not already, you can use the code MOVIE. So if you're already signed up, you'll be fine. Like I signed up with Jamie's code.
Yeah, so anybody can enter. You don't have to sign up through us. Okay.
Yep, just make sure that you are signed up, and if you need to sign up still, use the code word MOVIE, and then go to the YouTube video and just leave the word Poker News. And we're going to just randomly select somebody on air to win a seat into the $5 million free roll.
Okay. So we're going to do it like last time. We'll pull it. We'll do the random generator and everything, get the list. Okay, I'm excited. Oh, I like doing giveaways.
I think it's going to be good. I mean, and these things aren't easy to get, right? Like,
no,
there's only 2,000
we haven't gotten one yet.
So I'm excited to see. Big thanks to Mike Bailey and the documentary crew for providing us this opportunity. And here is the trailer for the new documentary, The Ultimate Stack.
Poker. To most, it is just a game. To others, it is a way of life.
Welcome to the WPT World Championship at Wynn Las Vegas.
Many people come and go in a poker tournament, each with their own story of how they got there and where they are going.
To me, it's very obvious why specifically no-limit hold'em tournaments have kind of been the staple of, let's just call it mainstream poker, for the past 20 years.
In every tournament, there can only be one winner. One person with all the chips.
I think that's really the main difference, is just how big of an event it is, how important it is, both for Wynn and WPT, and of course myself.
In this film, we'll start by following one player and continue following the opponent who eliminates them, following the chips from the beginning.
Feeling good. Getting excited. It's starting to get real. About to go register.
To the end.
Already locked up $1 million and playing for 4.5 more, so let's go.
As they exit one hand,
does money just go in here?
And enter another. Till eventually, they become the ultimate stack.
So there you have it. That is the trailer for the Ultimate Stack. As you've seen there, you have Tony Dunst, Garrett Adelstein is in there, Chris Moorman, Andrew Lichtenberg, Dan Sepio, Brad Owen, and our guy, Poker News Podcast co-host Mike Holtz.
All right. We'll have to check it out. Yeah, that sounds fun.
Don't forget, go to the YouTube channel. I'm going to link to it in the show notes, and just leave the word Poker News in the comments, and you will be entered to win a passport to this $5 million free roll. Of course, you got to sign up for the Club WPT Gold. Use the code word movie. So I can't wait to draw the next winner.
Yeah, I know. That was so fun last time. I can't wait to do it again.
Something I can't wait to do again is hopefully meet Jeremy Renner for a second time, because I went to that charity event. Remember, we gave away, speaking of, we're doing giveaways. We did the giveaway at the meetup game, Connor, and the other Connor won. Connor, what was it? Connor Woodland? He won the meetup game tournament, so then he won a seat into the Jeremy Renner charity event a week later at the Venetian. And I went over there, and I wanted to, be there for him and also hopefully meet Jeremy Renner, which we did. We both did, which was really cool. So I arranged it with the head of the charity to do a photo for our winner who won a seat. So that was really cool. Connor ended up finishing in 6th place. Mm-hmm. Got $1,000, got himself a real nice bottle of whiskey, and got a picture with Jeremy Renner. And then I snuck in there too. And I got to tell you, he was a really cool guy. I know him as Hawkeye from the Avengers. Mm-hmm. We just chatted for like a minute because this is his first ever charity event. So he was kind of curious, how does this compare to other charity events? And it was very well run. It was at the Venetian, and Tommy and his crew do a good job over there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Looks like it was fun.
Yeah, it was my first time actually at that Venetian poker room. I finally got over there after talking about it for weeks on end here on the show. And then one last event that I was at last weekend, which was a lot of fun, was the Charity Series of Poker. This was down at a new place, I think it was called Hattie Mae's. It's like a barbecue joint owned by former NFL player Brandon Marshall, not the wide receiver, but the linebacker. They both played for the Denver Broncos, so it's confusing. He won a Super Bowl 50. I actually got to see the ring, which was sweet, because I got to play at a table with him. Mike Matisow was there. Rampage Poker was there. And then guess who won it?
Rampage.
Yeah, Rampage. Not me, not Matisow, but Rampage won the Charity Series of Poker event. I don't know. It just... I thought it was awesome. I'm used to seeing Rampage playing high rollers, winning big tournaments, and here he is playing a CSOP and winning that.
Yeah, that's really fun. Way to show up and have a good time. I saw him tweet about it, that he had a lot of fun. He said drinks were flowing. He was having some drinks and just a good time and won the whole thing.
He actually busted me.
Oh.
Somebody
what
raised.
A way to go.
He 3-bet. I 4-bet jammed the ace king. He had pocket kings. And they held up.
Oh, man.
But he put them to good use. It was Hattie Marie's was the name of the place. Texas style barbecue. It was very good. Highly recommended. It opened in August, so check it out if you can. And then there's some CSOP events coming up this weekend. Matt Savage is at one in North Carolina, and then there's one here in Las Vegas, which hoping to get to. I guess it depends, Connor, how this NAPT wraps up on Sunday.
I'll probably be busy, but yeah, I guess it does depend how it wraps up. But yeah, hopefully we can get there.
That one is the Chip In for Autism, which is a great cause and always one of the better CSOP events that they have.
Is that the one at South Point or?
That one is not. There is a one.
They've had it there. Yeah.
No, they've had a different autism charity.
It's a different.
There.
Okay,
yeah, this is a different one.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
But check them out if you can. I love those CSOP events. Yeah. And good times. That's going to pretty much do it for this episode. Like I said, we're in the midst of the NAPT. The main event is playing out as we're recording this. There's a lot of side events still coming. And then we shift gears to different things. Kyna, you're going to London.
Going to London. It's going to be awesome.
Connor and I will be going to WSOP Paradise in the Bahamas.
Right. So much going on. I'll just be here in Vegas playing the WPT.
Well, that's a good one. Hopefully in this $5 million free roll.
Yeah, hopefully.
And Connor and I won't be playing, but we'll be down there having fun in the Bahamas in December, which is always a good time. So always busy this time of year. Very excited. The Poker News Podcast, thanks to viewers like you, listeners like you, have really crushed it this year, I felt. And especially Connor, thank you for filling in for Mike again.
Yeah.
He'll be back next week, I think, is the plan. Until then, we'll keep a seat open for you.